Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is me, Mashir's Cameraman, and today I'm talking about Harry Potter 7 and Harry Potter 8, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, and if those two movies are still good. So this is the final installment in my 4-part series. I'm choosing not to rank these. I feel like it's just very, it determines what you're looking for. Harry Potter 3 is the best made movie, but whatever you like, you like. This isn't a fair series to judge. Any of these can be your favorite. And yeah, I also don't feel like it's necessary to rank these. These movies are timeless. And I feel like there's just no reason necessarily to rank them yet, at least. And yeah, let's just jump into this thing because, yeah. So let's begin with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. I will say, I used to hate this movie. I used to think this movie was boring. But on this rewatch, I actually enjoyed this movie way more than I think I ever have in my life. This movie was non-stop action. It went from set piece to set piece. And it began with probably one of my favorite scenes in all of Harry Potter, which is the Battle of the Seven Potters. I love that scene. That is one of my favorite scenes in all of Harry Potter. And I love that sequence. I think that sequence is just brilliant. I love how they go up into the sky and then the whole battle breaks out and then they go down. They fly through all the Muggle streets. I just think it's such a brilliant way to open up the film, especially with this whole film not taking place in Hogwarts. And personally, I'm someone who enjoys Hogwarts. I know there's people, I have friends who are like, I wish there was Harry Potter films that don't take place in Hogwarts. Congratulations, enjoy the Fantastic Beasts films, and then they're like, those films are bad. You can't get everything. I think part of the reason Harry Potter works so well is because it has the structure of Hogwarts. But I personally really like the films in the school, but I feel like this is actually nice. If the finale was another film in the school, or another book in the school, that would have been just kind of pathetic. Like, if each book began and ended with them in the school, like, I get that it ended in the school, that was a good ending. But if the entire book and film took place in the school again, I don't know what I'd do, but it wouldn't be good. But I actually think it does a very good job outside the school. I really enjoy seeing them really get down to their worst. What I said about 6 a few weeks ago was how much I liked that we really got to see these characters at their best, and that this was the best we ever saw the trio. In my opinion, this film actually has better scenes with the trio, better scenes with those characters, but not in a positive way. I think this is the best acted Harry Potter film out of all of them. Of course, the acting is always going to improve, but I feel like the acting in this film specifically is just very good from especially the trio. I feel like they actually feel like they're in this really dire situation. And even moving past the Battle of the Seven Potters, if we're moving towards the Ministry fight, which I believe is the next set piece, I could be forgetting one, but even that is one of the best set pieces in the whole... Oh, there's also the coffee one. That one's good. The Ministry fight's one of my favorite parts of the whole film. I think that Ministry fight is honestly it's just so fun. Like, I don't think that scene just is really just genuinely impressive. And how they break into the Ministry for, it just mirrors everything they've done so far. I think that's such a great part of that film. And then when they start going on the camping run, I'll say I don't like this as much as what they did before, but I still like it. I will say that I don't love how depressed Ron gets. I feel like it's kind of unnatural how bad he gets. But I do get that he gets bad, and I do like it when he leaves, and I really do like that we get Harry and Hermione on their own. Because if it was the trio, the whole thing, that would have gone boring. So I do like Harry and Hermione on their own for a bit of it, and I like them going to Godric's Hollow. I feel like that's one of the best parts of the film. And once that scene and all that stuff's done, then it moves on to, I believe, the Snatchers at that point. And overall, I really like the Snatchers part and the Malfoy Manor House. I like all of that. I think it's all just very interesting, and especially when it's that fight running through the woods. That is actually probably one of my favorite parts of the whole film. I think that whole sequence of them just charging through the woods, being attacked by the Snatchers, that's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole film. Maybe even the series. I like how tense it is. I like the use of the spells, and I like Hermione's quick thinking to use the spell on Harry. That was genius in my opinion. Like, I get that they could have apparated out of there. Honestly, I don't get why they didn't apparate, maybe. I get about Ron and all that, but, like, overall, I like that Snatcher scene, and especially Malfoy Manor. I like that Malfoy doesn't tell them. I feel like that's actually what the character would do at this situation. If Malfoy did tell them that that was Harry, sure, we could get a cool Voldemort fight, but then Malfoy really wouldn't have had any character development from the start. And we actually do get a lot of character development for Malfoy in the sixth movie. I don't think I talked about that, but I really liked his motivations in the sixth one and how he's reluctant to join the dark side. And I think this is his redeeming moment right here. And when that whole fight takes place, I thought it's really good. And I remember I used to be, like, scared of, like, the Bellatrix carving the mudblood words on Hermione. Now, like, it's not, like, I'm not scared of it. But, like, it's, like, it actually, like, it's, like, it's not right. Like, it just makes you feel like that's, like, morally wrong. Because in Harry Potter, we don't see much blood. We don't see much, like, gruesome death. The majority of the films are just, like, Avada Kedavra, someone dies. But when you're physically seeing someone being cut open, that's, like, it's, like, very, like, different than something you've ever seen. Because even Sectum Sempra, that was just, like, a few moans. Like, this was, like, full-on screaming. And that's why I feel like it adds a layer of, like, depth to that scene specifically. Yeah, let's move on to... I'm not done with Harry Potter Part 1 yet. I really like this whole sequence in Malfoy Manor, and I like that they killed Dobby. This movie needed to have stakes, and it had them. And overall, I think the ending to it is actually a very good ending. Like, it's not like an Infinity War ending or anything, but, like, him getting the Elder Wand, that's a dire situation. And overall, this is probably one of my favorite... I love this film. This film was incredible. Like, I don't think this is top-tier Harry Potter. And that's because I still like Hogwarts. I feel like Hogwarts is what Harry Potter needs. But this is up there. This is one of my favorite films. And let's move on to Harry Potter Part 2. Harry Potter 7 Part 2, whatever. This film, there's not much to say about it. Because it's just so good. Like, it is like, I'm going to be doing some, like, movie talks in the next few weeks. I'm going to talk about the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. I have that on my list. I'm going to do White House Down vs. Olympus Has Fallen. That's another one on my list. But I feel like this is kind of like that, I guess. It's just blind action. Harry Potter 7 Part 2, I guess. Once you get past the 45-minute mark, you're kind of in the blind action phase. But I like that. I feel like they work. It's not just blind action. I've heard people that have said it's blind action. I just said it was blind action. But I don't really feel like it is fully... Like, I know I'm just contradicting myself at this point. But, like, I feel like this film is just very good at doing the blind action. Because it has purpose. And after all these films, it feels deserved. So, overall, I like the Gringotts fight. I don't love the Gringotts fight, but I like the Gringotts fight. Once you get into Hogsmeade and all that stuff, it is like... It feels special. And then the film will fly by. I love the McGonagall-Snape scene. Snape walking through the Great Hall, that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole series. It gets up there top 5. I love that duel. I love everything about that scene. That scene's incredible. But even when you move past... Once you get past that point, you're like, in that point where you're just kind of in for, like, the most fun film of your life. I love the bridge. I love that part so much. I love when Neville blows up the bridge and he's, like, sprinting. I thought that was such a fun... This film is fun. Like, it's dark, it's gritty, but it's so fun. Seeing, like, the explosions and all that, and the booms and all that incredible stuff. And I also like the plot of the Elder Wand, like, not listening to Voldemort. I think that's incredible. And I think it's visually impressive as well. And I like all the fighting going on, all the destruction. I think it should be on a grand scale, and it is. I think the bridge is a perfect sequence to show that. But I also like I'm talking about, like, the covered bridge, but also, like, the open bridge in front of Hogwarts and the giants smashing through that with the Quidditch circle hoop, whatever. Like, there are so many good moments in this. And especially even when you work past that point and you're at, like, what is it, like, the pensive Severus's death, that part, once Voldemort makes his second speech, I think Severus's death is really good. The destruction of the diadem, it's so good. Like, I love the destruction diadem. I think that's such a good sequence. I like it so much. And then when you get to Snape's death, like, I'm so sad to see Snape go. He's one of my favorite characters in the whole show. And by no means am I, like, happy Snape died. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, I'm so happy they killed off my favorite character. No, but it works for the story, and I'm happy that they made that choice. And I feel like everything after that part's where it really gets to its climax, its best parts. I love when he goes into the forest. I love his backstory. I love hearing Snape's backstory. I feel like it finally puts everything that's happened in the past into perspective. It shows everything that's happened, explains everything. So when they go into the forest, everything seems to, like, it's such an emotional moment, that scene with the resurrection stone. It is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, which I feel like I say about every scene, but that the entire movie is so incredible. So there isn't so much to say about it. You just kind of have to accept it's the best film, or one of the best films at least. But that ending is so good, and especially when Voldemort kills Harry, and that whole sequence of them thinking Harry's dead. Neville's speech is another one of my favorite scenes in the whole series, with Neville being like, yeah, and stuff. I'm not going to do his whole speech and stuff, but that's one of my other favorite parts. And I love when the battle resumes at the end. I'm happy that it's not so long. I'm happy it's a quick final battle. It's not like a huge thing. It works that it's a final thing. It shouldn't be like another 2-hour climax. Like, that was a good time to do that finale, and I love it so much. I love when they, like, do the whole bridge fight, and I like that Voldemort is actually fighting Harry for this final time. And then when they go off the bridge, like the roof, I thought that was, like, when I first saw that, and even this time, it's one of my favorite parts. Like, that the way the music is interacting with the scene, it brings out so much emotion in you. It's incredible. And once they finally, like, hit the ground and go, like, rolling in that final duel is so good. Because everything's happening in, like, a slow motion. And it is such a beautiful shot as well. Like, I know in these later films people don't like the way that the magic is shown. But in this film, I think the magic is shown in an incredible way. With the splashing, it really looks incredible. And then Neville chopping off the head of the Nagini, everyone knows that. I will say, after the killing of Voldemort, there's a few pet peeves. One, I will say, I don't like that, nitpicking, whatever you want to call it, I don't like that Voldemort disintegrates. I'd rather him just die. I think him dying, even though the disintegrating is more dramatic, I think him just dying is, like, it actually feels like it, I think, has more weight. Like, him just kind of, that's it. Like, it's not such a big thing. It's just, that's it. And I think that could have been a very interesting thing. Also, I wish Harry repaired his wand before destroying the Elder Wand. Because at that point, it's kind of, like, stupid. Why did he destroy the Elder Wand? And final thing, I don't like the epilogue scene so much. I understand it works for the film. I'll say it works for the film, but if the film ended with the three standing on the bridge, I'd be perfectly happy with that being the ending. I get that they want to show the epilogue and them getting married and all that, but I'd also be perfectly happy with it ending right there on the bridge and kind of just leaving the rest up to interpretation. And yeah, besides that, I think that's all I have to say. I can't say much about 7 Part 2 that hasn't already been said, and it's just like a thing. Like, there's not much to say. Like, it was kind of like, it's an incredible film. You can't say anything bad about it. And yeah, besides that, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.